joining the Above the Yellow Line live stream Thursday night. Also, SRX is tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit too, but joined by Adam Lucas, Dom Joseph, and Rob Ranning, the ATYL crew. I did want to mention right off the bat, though, we are, of course, missing a member here. Ben had a medical emergency, and we're thinking of him, and as he continues to recover. But if you pray, whatever good vibes you send out, send them to Ben. We love you, Ben, and we hope you start to feel better soon. But we're glad to have you all here. We're going to talk, of course, Richmond. We're going to talk about SRX a little bit. Also some NASCAR news, because there's one piece of news I'm sure we're all dying to talk about that involves AJ Allmendinger. But we'll get into it. We'll start off by talking about Pocono, recapping that because there's still a lot to talk about there, and just kind of the point standings from us and the drivers overall. So we'll get to that. This is where we stand. Adam got the big W this weekend, picking Denny Hamlin to win. So he's closed his points gap. Funny enough, Adam, every time you've picked the winner, like of our race winning picks, it's been the actual winner of the race. So you're doing great.
That's about the only thing that's positive with this year's points battle for me. Everything else, terrible.
But then here's the thing too, Rob, you're literally about to catch up to me in points. I was doing the math and I was like, crap, I've been awful, and Rob's figured it out. He's done great with his points.
I've been finishing like first and second all summer.
Yeah. Mr. Consistency, summer consistency right here for Rob. And then, of course, Dom, no surprise, he's still leading the point standings. But what can I say? He's doing great, though. It's Toyota.
Why don't I get the big spiel of how good I've been doing?
Because you're always so good at these points, and it bothers me.
I work hard
to
make my picks. I put a lot of research into my picks.
Toyota.
Yeah,
Toyota every week.
Throw 5 Toyota drivers in there. If one guy doesn't get it.
Yeah, but no. Dom's been masterful with his picks. It's always been Toyota, and every time he's pretty much first in points, or he's been right pretty much every weekend at who does the best. So I mean, major props there. To be in the lead that long is awesome. Brandon, by the way, he's missed race picks since Sonoma. So we're pretty sure that he just keeps falling back in points. So we'll get with him. But again, to see you all in the chat, that is so awesome to see you all here. And if you have any questions for us, we're going to recap Pocono now. We'll get to it. Getting with our point standings. What's up, Peter, Heels Rule, John, Adam. We're going to repeat names because we have some names here. Holly. So talking about the point standings, I want to throw it to you guys in the chat and also the team here, Dom, Rob, and Adam. Looking at the standings after Pocono, what are we thinking? Obviously, some people fell and the points standings widened, but overall thoughts. We'll throw it to, let's go, Rob. You go first.
I didn't think I was going to be first. But
gotta come prepared, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You're live.
It's hard for me to look at 16 to 17 and think that's actually going to be the cut line.
Yeah.
Because you have, obviously Elliott's still down there. Bowman could sneak in a win. Suarez, honestly, like those first 4 or 5 guys that are out could all win to get in. Mm-hmm. And even after that, Cindric, Haley, and Gilliland are all good on super speedways. So, Daytona could be where they, just sneak in right at the end like Austin Dillon last year. But I am, like everybody else, I'm wildly impressed with Michael McDowell in front row.
Yeah.
That they've really stepped it up. And, I think last year we talked about them a lot more because they were scoring like top 10s. Like they were finishing between like 5th and, 10th a lot of the time. But it hasn't been that way as much this year. They have, some top 10s, but it's more just been outright consistency. They just don't get in a lot of trouble, which is nice.
No, I'm on the same page, Dom and Adam. I don't know if you guys agree with that, or if you have specific drivers you think are going to make it in based on the races we have left.
Adam, go.
I mean, you can't count out, obviously, Allmendinger on a road course. Really can't count out Suarez either, or even Cindric or Haley. I really think we're going to get a surprise. I think we're going to get a surprise either at a road course or at Daytona. as for the rest of the guys who are safe, I mean, they're counting their races down. I think if I'm Harvick and Keselowski, especially with what they've been showing as of late, I truly think they could easily get in just on points by now. Not even have to worry about a safety net of a win. But then from Buescher onward, if he has a good run this weekend, I think you could say that 12th through 14th are locks, and then it could be chaos till Daytona.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I want to say too, like, how are we feeling about Michael McDowell? I mean, again, it's the consistency that he's put in Front Row Motorsports, being impressed with him. But I guess too, if we want to call out just specific drivers that we think could win at specific places, Dom, do you have any predictions going forward?
I mean, the easiest one is AJ Allmendinger at Indianapolis or Watkins Glen. I would give him more of a nod at Indianapolis over the Glen. I feel like that's more of a Chase Elliott kind of arena as of right now. I would even say Austin Cindric at Indianapolis. He's got that place figured out pretty well too. He was class of the field when he won the Xfinity race in 2021. I've got no faith in Daniel Suarez. I'm sorry, I don't see him making the playoffs. No chance for him. With the recent Justin Haley news, he's out. I think there's no chance there for him. Alex Bowman won't make it. I think it's too little too late for Ty Gibbs. He's going to be must win, but his first career win in Xfinity was on the Daytona road course, and he looked so much better than everyone else in that race. So he could very well win Indianapolis or Watkins Glen. So with that, I would say rule out Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Justin Haley, and then we've got Todd Gilliland on the list, which for him, this is a great turnaround from last year, running better, proving that Front Row Motorsports is not a bad team. And Michael McDowell is just praying that we just keep getting repeats.
Yeah. I think Front Row has a legitimate shot of trying to do a 1-2 at Daytona. I'll call that out. I really think it could come down to the 34 and 38.
I'm adding that in the predictions list. We have a predictions list. So Front Row 1-2 at Daytona. Adding that in. Cool. Yeah, we keep track of our crazy predictions here, and sometimes they're right, and of course sometimes they're totally wrong. But that's what we have going on. I think that the comment section, I am sure, because this has been every live stream I have done this week on TikTok, wants to debate about the whole Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson thing. I know at this point it's kind of old news, but we'll give our final thoughts on it, especially if you all want to vent about your thoughts at the end of Pocono. So first off, too, something that Dom and I noticed is on Richmond's social media page, they actually have tickets being sold for like Kyle Larson, if you're Team Kyle Larson or Team Denny Hamlin. And you can buy tickets to be like in a certain spot on the track, at the track when you're watching the race, which was cool. But I guess overall, the big question is, do we think this was a dirty racing move, just a racing move? Moving forward, what do we think? Initial thoughts on it as a whole. I'll throw it to Dom first there.
Yeah, I'll go first because I was thinking about it, and Adam and Rob, you guys will be able to agree with me on this one. This is everything Denny Hamlin disliked about Brad Keselowski when he was in Nationwide, where he just felt he was getting beat up on the racetrack.
I think he said a quote with a cinder block. I'm going to throw a brick wall or something at Charlotte when they raced each other real dirty back in like 2008. In all honesty, the way I see it is it's almost a little taste of Kyle Larson's own medicine.
Also true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, what goes around comes around. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't just biased because I picked Denny Hamlin this past weekend. It's going to happen. It'll come back and bite you. And it'll bite you when you least expect it. Because this is they have bad blood.
They do.
It's fair enough to say that they do not like each other the most. So, yeah, I mean, it's a racing deal, in my opinion.
And for me, Oh, go ahead, Rob. Actually, go ahead. Yeah.
Taylor, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just to go off of Adam's point, it's Larson has raced folks the same way before. I mean, even saw him race his teammate that way last year. And it's running people up the track, whether it's for a position or for a win, or running people down the track to the apron for position or a win. And for me, it's a little hypocritical to criticize Hamlin more than we did Larson in that instance, because Larson's guilty of the same thing. But we also know Denny Hamlin is not as well liked as Larson. You're going to get a different reaction that way. So for me, it is a racing deal. I agree. And I think it's blown up a little bit more because it is Denny Hamlin who is the one who, I don't want to say instigated it, but he's the one that made the move that's unpopular.
Yeah, Hamlin knew exactly what he was doing too.
Yep.
He calculated that. It wasn't the same deal as Ross, where he wanted to send a message there, but he knew he needed the 5 car to make that corner.
Yeah.
He needed to. He says he didn't hit him, but he leaned on him for damn sure. He leaned on him to help make that corner. And Larson definitely didn't hit the wall as hard as Chastain did, but I would be pissed too if I was Kyle.
I think the issue I have with it is the move's pretty blatant. Just own up to it.
Yeah, that's my thing.
It's going a little too far to just keep acting like it's not even like you're defending the move. You're denying. Right. You're like almost denying that it happened.
Yeah, fair.
I'll agree with Rob to a certain condition.
Right.
Denny could have worded it better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm.
But like the whole action, I think the action was fine. That's racing.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. I think the action is fine.
The call it is.
Yeah, I don't like the move, but I don't like the move when anybody does it. But as far as the etiquette that has been shown, and this is what it's evolved to, I think it's completely in the right. Again, I feel like I say this same mantra every single week. They are racing in the conditions that have been created for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're in a box.
And
yep.
I would also
say
is
your own deal.
For Hamlin, the last time he owned up to putting someone in a bad position, he got fined for it.
Yep.
So. That's a very good point.
Yep.
So it's deny or change the narrative is essentially his 2 options.
I gotta say, the person that is probably happiest with Denny Hamlin's move is Austin Dillon. We're not talking about how he wrecked himself.
Oh God.
Oh, Austin. Oh man.
Yeah. So with Austin Dillon, and he had an instance earlier this year with Austin Cindric. I think it was Gateway where that happened, and Austin Dillon was pretty adamant on saying, Cindric needs to be suspended. He hooked me in my right rear when it was clearly they both were going for the same spot. Dillon took a spot that wasn't there for him, and he wrecked himself. And this was the same scenario. In even Tyler Reddick after the race was like, yeah, I didn't mean to run into him. I didn't mean to do anything like that. It's just, it was a racing deal. And it was another thing of like Dillon, I think, misunderstanding the situation, and just, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I was not a fan of Austin Dillon's reaction, but also at the same time, I'm not in the car. He thought something different completely in the moment, what happened, but
based on the replays I saw, it looked like 2 guys going for the same spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Racing incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Richard Childress should have chimed in, but
no. I thought so too.
Especially considering it was Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
I don't think, especially from an owner, I don't care if you're mad or whether you refuse to, accept that it was a racing deal. It's not a good look to, especially somebody that you used to drive your car.
Yeah. For me, it felt not wrong, but I was like, oh, I don't believe he would have said that about Reddick, or he would have worded the way he spoke about him that way. It was off-putting.
RC has a history of going after drivers. One of those drivers he went after drives for him now. So
yeah, that's true.
So he's always been outspoken. He's not afraid to kind of take that owner
James in the comment.
blazer off. But I think especially, you're not far removed from when Reddick used to drive your car.
Right.
I think it would have been best to just kind of
let it go. And I wonder for Austin Dillon, obviously, I'm not in his mind. Like, I don't know what he's thinking, what he's feeling, but he hasn't had the best season, and especially when your teammate has been incredibly successful and is winning in that car multiple times this season. I wonder if when something small happens on the track, you take it the wrong way or it automatically frustrates you because you're already in the state of just frustration for your season. I don't know if that plays into it.
And I think a lot of it is also the fact that he had a penalty that kind of really ruined his season because he hasn't had a necessarily bad. I would consider his season very Austin Dillon.
Yeah, and it just the luck hasn't been there for him either. Like he's been caught up in stuff.
Running between 7th and 20th, and then suddenly finishing 3rd in a race. And it would not surprise me if he backed into a win at some point this year.
Right.
And just let's hope it's after the playoffs or after the cut race. But yeah, I can definitely see where you're saying that. Just absolutely frustrating because he has to win.
Right.
And probably without that penalty, he would be at least in the talk for pointing his way in because he has just about every year.
Right.
So, yeah, I get the frustration, but, admit when it's a racing deal, when evidence is presented to you.
A lot of it is just a pride thing. And I think for Denny Hamlin, too, as we were talking about, is he might genuinely 100% think that he didn't touch Larson and whatever, but if he did, then it's like, it's a pride thing. It's fine, but just admit it, or at least, I don't know. You're going to be racing these guys week in, week out. We're going to Richmond. It's a short track tempers. That's a real thing. You want to make sure you don't have a lot of enemies going into that race because it's very easy to just slightly bump somebody, take them out of for a win or a stage win or whatever it may be, ruin someone's championship hopes as we go into the playoffs. So the more enemies you make, the more things that you don't say in terms of I'm sorry or hey, that's my bad. You're not going in with a lot of good relationships, and that might cost you at the end of the day. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out for Austin Dillon and others who were involved in some drama at Pocono. But otherwise, it was a solid race. I love Pocono. I love the track. The facility is also gorgeous. So we'll close out our thoughts on Pocono there. There's some news that we got to get to, and we'll talk about the big one first, just because I'm perplexed. I have opinions. I'm sure you all have opinions as well. But AJ Allmendinger, he's going to be racing at Road America this weekend. My God, for the Xfinity Series, which means he won't be able to practice or qualify for the Cup Series race at Richmond. So what Kaulig is doing is they're putting Derek Krauss in that ride just to practice in qualifying. However, because it's not going to be AJ Allmendinger, AJ's going to have to start at the back of the pack regardless. It just gives Derek a chance to practice and learn the Cup car. But what do we think about this? We can be honest. We can give our feelings. Dom is looking like he's thinking about something. Adam is like, well, I don't know. Adam, what you got? What do we think about this interesting case for Kaulig?
It's AJ Allmendinger. He's going to be money at a road course. Money talks, I guess. I don't know. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off. I like it, but I don't like it. It's almost like they're playing Cup is now second fiddle for Kaulig, and they're concentrating on trying to get a win at Road America. I'm perplexed. It's weird.
I love it. I love it. I think it's a massive middle finger to having little to no practice. They are sending the message that you're giving us however many minutes they give them. This isn't enough, so it doesn't matter. And with stage racing, who cares if you start in the back? If you pass enough of the back markers, you're not going to go a lap down by the end of the first stage. And plus, AJ is money on road courses. He has a win. He got his first Xfinity win at Road America. Obviously, he loves driving those places. Go ahead and do it. Guys used to do it all the time. They used to put back or reserve drivers in the car to practice at Sonoma. But I don't have a problem with it.
Dom, do you share the same thoughts? Something different?
I really don't know.
He's
At
confused.
first, the only thing that, first of all, am I coming through clear?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Technology.
So the 10 car is over 100 points back in the owner's title. So this is nothing to do with winning the owner's championship.
No.
That sailed.
Trophy hunting.
So it's trophy hunting, going for the biggest paycheck possible. Even then, I would argue, I'm sure the paycheck is bigger for any position in the cup race.
Yeah.
Significantly.
But like Rob said, Saturday is just here's some time on the racetrack just so that we can say we gave you time on the racetrack, not actual practice sessions and then a qualifying session after you actually have a decent amount of time to dial in your car. So
it's a courtesy at this point. It's not, you know what I mean?
They're just checking a box to say that they did it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Ask.
So I haven't looked at the forecast for this weekend. But say everything rains out Saturday and everything goes off without a hitch in Road America. Does he still have to start from the rear?
No.
I would say no.
No, because Derek never climbed in the car.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I don't know what the
Sure.
I don't know.
The forecast at Richmond is hot.
And then for Road America, it's rain today, tomorrow, and then Saturday, Sunday, partly cloudy.
Okay.
I don't see the range. Precipitation, 10%
There's
Saturday.
no chance of rain in Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond's going to be
Richmond's
really
fine.
hot.
I feel those drivers need to hydrate. I feel so bad. Oh my god.
It's going to be like
why is it not?
Saturday's going to be 99 degrees.
Thank you. What did you say?
Yeah, 99. That's the high on Saturday. Sunday is
Sunday
terrible
90.
too.
Is it not a night race?
Thank you.
They
Yes.
wanted it. They wanted it.
Nashville and Atlanta night races now.
Is
it something with the city?
Richmond wanted a day race.
But why would
I think
you
it's
want
probably
that?
TV too.
Yeah.
TV probably has something to do with it too.
Yeah, TV time.
I miss when it was the September night race to begin the chase. Or
does
to
NBC
in the regular season to go into the chase. That was fun.
Does NBC do the Women's World Cup?
No.
No, Fox does.
Okay. I didn't know if that was maybe partially why. Oh, all right. Welcome to the pod.
All right, boys, we're going rogue.
All right, there we go.
Oh, have we gone rogue? Okay, all right.
We have gone
my
rogue.
screen's frozen, but it's so.
There we go.
Adam, why don't we kick it off here with let's talk about. You want to talk about Truex a little bit?
Let's talk about Truex and his wild ride on his side back at Richmond so many years ago.
I don't know.
The chance
John's daughter eating Matt Kenseth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was an excellent move.
That was.
So if you're just joining us, this is the Busch Series podcast. We want to thank you all for joining us and donating hundreds of millions of dollars to this platform.
So we can buy more Busch.
We can buy more diecast.
Hashtag buy more Busch.
Hashtag
so,
Celsius.
Rob,
hashtag body armor.
Rob, please give us your favorite Busch Series paint scheme of all time.
Oh my gosh, what a question. I love those Ganassi Wrigley cars. Looked great. They were at the back end of the Busch era, but that Juicy Fruit car, gorgeous. Obviously, the Reese's cars were always a win. I liked when they ran, like, in 2007, or even like a couple years post Busch, where they would run schemes that were raced on the car tomorrow, but they ran them on Busch cars, so they were still run on Gen 4. I liked that era, even though it isn't.
It isn't
canon Busch, but
I loved the first Montoya big red car that had more black on the sides.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one
I
was
hear-
awesome.
That
I
was
hear-
that was nice.
Was that the one he got into it with Harvick?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
as we were saying, I really do think that Harvick has a good shot at being competitive at the Cup race at Richmond this weekend.
Yes.
It's going to be a
Segue.
farewell race. And our fearless leader has joined us once again. So we will.
A scheduled break.
Yeah. I got new Wi-Fi, I promise you all. Is it working? No. So we're gonna deal with it until we get something better. But I don't even remember what we were talking about at that point. But with the Derek Krauss and that sort of thing. Yeah. Anywho, our opinions on that, it's all over the place. For me, he's only minus 17 to the good, and I don't want short tracks are not his, they're not his best track. But my thought on that is, why give up one race though when it could be a good points day for you? And for me, there's a lot that could happen during the race. He could find himself to the front of the field, but I know Richmond is also kind of keen on track position too, and I get nervous if he's going to be in the back. Does he have a car that can get his way to the front, or because of the short track, it's easier to get lapped? Is he just going to keep falling behind? You run into the issue of there's a lot of guys angry at each other. Could he run into somebody else's carnage and cost him a good points day because he's in the wrong position? I don't know.
Indy road course and sorry, Adam.
No, you go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Indy road course and Watkins Glen are on the horizon. Why worry about Richmond? If winning is,
we don't know what's going to happen there, though.
Yeah, well, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen at Road America.
Fair. I guess for me, I'd rather him take every chance that he's given in the Cup Series because I feel like that should be his priority. But who am I to say?
He's a veteran. I think
if and at this point, he probably doesn't even care.
Yeah, I think he's so far along he doesn't.
Yeah,
it's just he's out there to drive.
Honestly, I wouldn't if I were him.
Fair.
I'll be honest with you. I still don't think he should have come back to Cup.
I don't think so.
I think he should have stayed in Xfinity, and I think I even advocated that he stay in Xfinity last year, just for his mental well-being and for Colleague to continue to be one of the top Xfinity teams, because they're not a top Xfinity team right now. They're knocking on the door again, but they have fallen off. Their pace is not where it has been.
Their all-star car and Chandler Smith have really been.
Yeah,
that's it.
Carrying them.
Daniel Hemrick has been just a sponsor.
Yeah, that's
unfortunate, but
he's been on the up though. He's been running better the last couple weeks.
That's fair.
He only has to win one race this year, and that's at Phoenix. He did it before.
That's true.
Exactly.
That was one of the best championship races.
Can you imagine he goes winless this year, makes the championship 4, wins at Phoenix, and his only 2 wins are championships?
That is a statement.
That's Hall of Fame resume.
That's Hall of Fame. That's put that car right in the hall.
Yeah.
The man who played the system twice.
You put his car next to Matt Crafton's car, the man who played the system and the man who beat the system.
Honestly,
he beat the system.
Yeah,
that was incredible what he did. That really was.
That was impressive.
Joey played the system too in 2018.
Yes.
Yep.
He played the system, but he more so played the system based against
other people
he was racing against.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think because that was the championship race where Truex, they put the wrong tires, right?
Yes.
That was
yeah.
And that was also the year Harvick and Kyle Busch won 7 races apiece or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I think they won almost half the races.
Those 3, the big 3.
Still. Oh, the big 3.
Well, it was funny because they were calling them the big 3, and they called them that really up until the playoffs, but I didn't realize, and the only reason I remembered this was because they had on this day that Truex's last win that year was at Kentucky. He won.
I was at that race.
Didn't win again.
Yeah.
That was a little surprising considering he was still a championship favorite.
Yeah.
Because
he was consistent.
I mean, if you think about 2019, Kyle Busch won the spring Pocono race and didn't win again until Homestead.
That's true.
That's true. Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorite comments. The Truex comment, well, he's not going to win the war. Joey won the war.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Except he did win the war.
Did win it.
The way that
And the
football
best part
haunt
about that too
Truex.
is he had to pass Truex for the title.
Yeah.
He did it.
And I remember watching the broadcast, and the broadcasters and everyone was in the booth was like, "Oh, Truex's gonna let him have it. Like he's gonna be aggressive about it." And then Joey easily got the spot after a few laps. I was like, "All right."
Can
Joey's
I
gonna
bring
win
up
this.
a short debate that
Yeah,
we can pass on if you want?
go for it. Go
At
for it.
this moment right now, who is more worthy of the Hall of Fame, Logano or Truex?
Oh God. Okay.
Oh,
That's
a loaded
tough.
question.
Oh man.
Because
Oh,
you
no.
say Logano's got 2 championships and a 500, but Truex has
Two
those
Coca-Cola
experience
600s.
He's got those 600s.
Mhm.
Back-to-back Busch Series champion. I think I have
Yeah.
to give it to Martin.
I gotta give it to Martin
I
too.
think I agree. At this moment, I think at the end of their careers,
Martin's got
they're
more wins.
both
Too.
at the end, it's going to be massively different. But I think they're obviously both going to be there. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind there.
And their careers are very similar in that they got the quick win early, struggled for a while, and then found their feet again.
Yeah.
And showed how good they really are.
Luckily, Joey got back relatively quicker anyway.
Right.
Going to Penske was the greatest thing for Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fresh perspective.
Yeah. Mr. Joey Logano historian. Dom
Me?
Joseph. Yeah.
What do you want to know?
I don't know.
How many
No, he was
wins?
your favorite driver.
The one thing
Dom,
Joey has that Truex doesn't is he's the youngest winner in both Cup and Xfinity.
That's true.
Still, that's held since 09 and 08. It's pretty impressive.
How many wins did Joey have in that nationwide car in 2012?
He had 8.
Yep. He had 8.
God.
Okay.
A lot.
He had
Kyle
8 or
Busch
9.
has the record, I think, 13,
All right,
2010.
hold on. I can do this.
Yeah.
California, so 2012, California, Talladega, Darlington, Dover, Michigan.
No.
No.
I do know he won. He swept Dover because I was there in the fall when he won at Dover.
That was the race he beat. All right, here we go. Try again.
I
We love
swear
technology.
I swear on my life. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
God bless America. All right.
Like
From the top.
catchphrase, let's go.
From
Okay.
the top. California, Darlington, Talladega, Dover, Michigan, Bristol, Dover, Charlotte, Phoenix.
9.
9.
Yeah,
Only one of those.
you got it.
No, two of those were in the 20 car. The rest were in the 18.
Really?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So both the 18 and the 20 had a carousel that year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it was Elliott Sadler. No.
No, not Elliott.
No,
He
Brian
wasn't there
Scott
yet.
was in the 11.
Yep.
And was he their only guy? Yeah.
Yeah, Brian was the full-time guy, and 18 and 20 were revolving.
And then Kyle Busch was the
54.
KBM 54. Wow.
That was the year he didn't win.
Yeah. And Kurt won.
Yeah, Kurt won in the 54.
Kurt won twice that year.
Oh, yeah, because he won in the Finch car.
Oh.
Yeah, the Phoenix #1 at
This is
Daytona.
everything. The
It's hard to think
GameStop cars
KBM
for
had
Joey.
2 full-time cars.
Yeah,
in,
so he won. He won in the Dollar General 20 at Darlington and the Black Ops 2 Call of Duty car. at Charlotte.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a hot car.
I'm looking for
was-
that diecast, actually. I kind of want it.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, like, it's going to be difficult to find.
Yeah.
I made the Ryan Truex what was it? Grime Out?
Grime Boss.
That was it. Grime Boss. I actually made a bootleg version of that car.
He had that Dover race
my God.
won.
And Joey stole it.
Well, I think lap traffic ruined it for him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
And he chewed up his tires trying to get around him.
Yep.
And lost all of his grip.
It took 11 years to get that win back. Yeah.
11 years of frustration.
Well, I mean, if you want to say anything, they have to wait a while.
The most anticipated moment in Xfinity racing.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Oh God. We could have a whole debate too about the chase formats. There's so much we could talk about. We literally for one of our streams, we literally need to just compile a whole list of just debate topics. We've done this before. We need to do it again, and just go through them.
I don't know how they don't say it's the top 16 in points and don't just chuckle.
Yeah, I feel like that's way too many.
16? It's almost like in this day and age, because let's be honest, 40
Bring back
cars
to 10.
aren't entered. That's almost half the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 is too many, and if you get a win, you're automatically in. I still don't like that.
Yeah, no, I think next year, and I don't even, maybe we talked about this last show. I don't remember, but I'm going to say it again. I think we get rid of the win and you're in, but you make the points that you get when you win, more extreme instead of the win and you're in. Just because, like, I feel like anyone could win Daytona, right? Anyone could win Daytona, but they could be the worst driver in the field. But they win, so they're automatically in the playoffs.
That's my thing, is I'm tired of rooting against guys that I like because I see a legitimate, playoff field. So I'd love to see Corey LaJoie win a race. I would have loved to have seen him win Atlanta. But
getting a playoff spot, though.
Yeah. I feel like I have to be like, well, do I want to see him win or do I want to, legitimate playoff field?
Right. And for me, that is just getting rid of the win and you're in and just making the points that you earn more extreme when you win. And I don't know if that's the fix, but for me, it gets rid of quote, taking a spot away from someone I think probably has earned it more during a season, for somebody that probably hasn't earned it and just got a win at Daytona.
I think Chris Buescher is the largest outlier with that.
That's true.
Back in 2016.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can make the argument for just about every other driver that's made the playoffs based on a win. You can make the argument if I'm thinking back correctly.
Yeah. I don't know.
Remember when Jeremy Mayfield won his way into the chase?
Okay.
Yes. Also,
hey, speaking of Jeremy Mayfield, I have this cool photo that I found of me and him.
Hold on. That's my
God, NFL superstar Jeremy Mayfield.
This was the Monday Night Football game after the 2005 Fall Talladega race.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
He must not have done well if he was there.
Well, Rob, it's so funny you should say that. The actual race winner was also at that game too.
Oh, really?
Dale Jarrett's final Cup Series win.
That was Dale Jarrett's last win.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
We love to see it. Also, just plugging the Dale Jr. download right now. If you haven't listened to his episode, Jeremy Mayfield's episode, do it. It's
good.
So really good. We'll put the wheels back on the track here. Talking a little bit about Richmond and everything coming up. Something I did want to mention though, Natalie Decker's boyfriend, Derek, he's making his Truck Series debut for Rayoon Brothers Racing. Has a legend car background, things like that. So just be on the lookout for that if you're watching the Truck Series race. For SRX, kind of not Richmond right now, but at the Motor Mile, New Garden's going to be in the field and Kyle Busch will be in the field tonight. So that will be a good one to watch too when we wrap up the stream. So just keep that in mind. It should be a good show. I believe Connor Daly's in the booth this weekend with Alan Bestwick. So it should be a good combination there. I think Connor does a good job. But yes, let's talk about Richmond for a few. There we are. So here are your track facts. Also, am I echoing to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't have the echo.
I have the echo.
I have it.
This has been, oh my gosh, a show.
Oh, now you are.
We're going to change this. I apologize, you all, for the difficulty. We're just gonna echo.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not that noticeable, and I'm pretty sure I am too. So like,
Cool.
Mhm.
Well, we're gonna figure this out, but we'll keep going with it. So the race length for Richmond, 400 laps, 300 miles. We got the track length and our stages sectioned up for you on the screen here. As for stats, last driver to win here in the spring was Larson. Kyle Busch with the most track wins of any active driver. Then we have our best average finishes since 2020 and our best average finishes overall of our active drivers. Obviously, Toyota kind of takes the cake for this track a little bit, so I would expect them to do well. However, though, we have, of course, some Fords in the mix here with Logano and Harvick. So I guess before we go, just talking about who we think will win, any surprises that we might see, and even to just what to expect. Could we see chaos? Could we see payback? We'll go on the line here. We'll start with Dom, just talking through who you think has the best chance to win or who you think might struggle even. He's gone.
yeah, he really didn't want to
God.
talk.
This show today, there are some shows where I'm like, we're killing it.
Talk.
The Gremlin Show. Go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh man. AJ Allmendinger from the back to the front wins. No, I'm kidding.
Bold. I like it.
Oh no. I think we're gonna see TRD continue their kind of dominance over the summer. I think Hamlin's obviously a good pick. He ran pretty well in the spring, if I remember. As far as any sort of payback goes, I don't know if it's the air of like day Richmond races, but they don't have the same feel to me.
That's
They
valid.
don't have the same. They don't have the same aggressive short track feel to me.
True.
And I think Richmond itself, with this new car, doesn't produce the best racing. So I'm worried that we're gonna get kind of a strung out race. We're gonna get something like we've seen with this new car. I'm hoping that there's a lot of tire fall off because that's usually when Richmond's at its best.
I think we're going to see a lot of tire fall off, especially with the temperatures this weekend. It's going to be hot, very, very hot.
It's a good point.
So to build off of that, Rob, I definitely think we're going to see TRD being dominant. As to which car, obviously Hamlin, he's one of the best at Richmond. Truex as well. I mean, if you look at the stats, the top three are 3 of the 4 Gibbs cars. The only reason I would not go with Hamlin is because of Larson.
Yeah.
I really think we could see that boil over. With us being so close to getting in the playoffs, do you knock someone out now just to knock them out? And then there's payback later on, actually, when it counts? Or do you sit on it and wait until the playoffs? That's going to be... I'm sure that's going to be going through Larson's head.
I'd like to think for their friendship that they whatever is going to happen, they get it done early.
Yeah.
Well, but here's my thing with Larson, though. I think he's calculated enough to not do anything. Because here's my thing. There's some guys that give payback that aren't able to just outrace the guy who just like screwed them over the previous race. Larson is a driver that can consistently outrun pretty much anybody. And when he has a crappy day, he somehow ends up in the top 3. I don't know how he does it, but he does. I think Larson will be smart about this and just kind of race his own race for now. Obviously, racing Hamlin a little bit differently, but I don't think he'll wreck him or junk him or anything like that. I think he might hold out until there's a better moment, or he won't do it at all. And he'll just kind of show what he's made of on outright speed. That's my thought process on it. Just Larson's mentality and how he's handled disputes in the past sometimes. But that's my thought there. But we'll see. You never know. You never know.
Definitely be looking for the Toyotas and also RFK. If they can handle the tire fall off, let's look for some top 10s from those guys.
Last year, your top 10, just so you know, at the end of that race, not last year, sorry, earlier in the spring, Larson, Josh Berry, we had Chastain, Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick, Michael McDowell, keeping out for them, the Fords, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman. This could be a time for him to really bounce back. Ty Gibbs, and then Brad Keselowski rounded out your top 10. And then in terms of qualifying efforts in the spring as well, just so you know the stats there, we had Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Chastain, Reddick, Cindric, Buescher. Speaking of RFK, Stenhouse in 8th. 9th was Kyle Larson, and then 10th, Kevin Harvick. That was your qualifying efforts earlier in the spring. So familiar names that we see in the stats here that have done well at the track, and some names that we just mentioned that I think will be pretty strong going into the weekend. So we'll have to see where it all leads, but we'll kind of close it out here for the night, just so you guys can have some time before the SRX race and just to kind of prepare yourselves for the weekend of racing that we have ahead at Road America and at Richmond, and especially too. We might talk about this in a live stream tomorrow on TikTok or whatever it is, but a Truck Series race. This is their final race before their championship battle begins. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't watch the Truck Series usually, watch it this weekend. It'll be a good one. And we'll probably keep you updated, of course, on our social media pages. Of course, at _Taylor Kitchen _ on Twitter, TikTok, Above the Yellow Line, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Threads. And then TobyChristie.com and TobyChristie.com has all your motorsports stories and needs. And of course, just look up Racing America as well for their stories. And also, if you want our full-length recaps on the race weekend, make sure to check out Above the Yellow Line, our full-length shows every Monday on your podcasting platforms and on Facebook and YouTube. But we'll go into the race weekend. Excited for trucks, excited for SRX, and of course, excited for Cup Xfinity at Road America. So we'll keep those in mind there. But thank you all so much for joining us on a Thursday night. You were joined by myself, Taylor Kitchen, Dom Joseph, Adam Lucas, and Rob Branning. And we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.